Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Maverick Cup Series here at High Voltage Racing League. This is Tarnation TV on YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you're watching live or during a replay, much appreciated either way. But full field here tonight. Over 40 contestants arrived here at the facility. They want to partake in this race, so of course we've had to have knockout qualifying sessions. So we will be going green shortly. Of course, my name is Blaine Donlan, joined by the one and only Rod Weston. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Dover, man. I tell you, I like this track. It's always been one of my favorite tracks, believe it or not, because of the tire wear. This track here, I went out a little bit earlier, did a few laps with the guys. It does have a second groove, which I think is really cool when you do that at this track, because most of the time this is a bottom-feeding track. We do have some differences from what we were last week. I think last week we were saying that Josh Mercurio was I think it was 180 points ahead. Turns out that Josh Mercurio did not race Daytona. He had a sub. So due to that, he has taken those points and been taken off from him, but he still is the points leader, but now he is only 23 points ahead of Nick Gunther, 55 ahead of Tate Dorsey, 68 ahead of Jonathan PV, which we'll be talking to in a little bit later, and 73 ahead of Pablo Vitor. Then there's RJ Bishop and Noah Hart, Alessio Rodrigo, and Ulysses Sandoval is sitting up there in the 10th spot. So yeah, like I said, loved Dover. It's a pretty good track.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks. It's only a mile long, but holy moly, it's a quick one. Like, you were out here practicing with these guys. What were they up to speed wise?
Oh, I don't even look at my speedometer on there. But the big thing that you got to remember here at Dover, if you are going down the front stretch and you're going down and running the bottom up to the track, right down near the asphalt, because this is a concrete racetrack. Mm-hmm. If you're running down that, you are dropping 3 stories. So your 3-story drop from the high side of the track all the way to the bottom, and then you climb back up 3 stories on the exit of the corner. It's I can't imagine, I've never been on the track for real, but that has got to be a trip.
That's wild. For such a short track to have a 3-story drop in the corners like that. That's crazy. That's probably what, like 40, 50 feet?
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
And this track is concrete. I'm not exactly sure what year it was that it went to concrete, but the reasoning behind going concrete was that they were going so fast around the track with the high banking that the track has, kept ripping the track apart.
Yeah, so you're curling up the asphalt.
Yep.
Gets warm and it's like Play-Doh, right?
Yeah, it's 24 degrees of banking, which is, quite a bit of banking for a racetrack. It kept tuning it up, so somebody come up with the idea, let's see what happens if you put concrete down on it. They concreted the track, and it's been like that ever since. As I spoke of before, one of the great things about the track is that it is a concrete track, and there's a lot of tire wear. I'm not sure with this version. I didn't do a full run, but I did note that you could run, like I said, the bottom or the middle, so there should be some pretty good side-by-side racing tonight.
Yeah, this is, again, like we always talk about Dover. It's a weird one because, I always just focus on the pit entrance and exit. They're so violent. You watch these guys in practice when they're coming out of the pits, just slamming the banking. Like, talk about upsetting the car.
Yeah, and one of the hardest tracks you'll probably ever have to pit on, you'll see guys, if they're pitting under a green flag conditions, it is extremely hard to get down there, especially with old tires. The pit road is not very wide. The pit stalls are very short. So I'm pretty sure, even under green flag conditions, you might see a little bit of fender benders on pit road. Not necessarily what people want to do, but where you run out of room, it's probably going to happen a little bit.
They were very tight track. You wonder if they were clamped for space when they were building it. Like, why is everything so tight? But you know what? That's what makes it what it is.
Yeah, no, it's a fun track. Jonathan PV. You just got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy. Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there he is. Somebody had to, wake him up. So last season's winner at this track. What's the strategy? Did they use this version, or did they use a different version? I don't remember last year.
I think they made some updates to the last year's version, but it's pretty much the same track. It's a tire eater.
Yeah.
Monster is hungry, and he prefers rubber.
I noticed when I was out there a little bit, there is a high groove to it. May not be the best or fastest way around here, but I was able to run up it, and the track actually looks a little darker up there. I was able to, that's why I went up and tried it. Had Pablo Vitor kept trying, he had a little bit fresher tires than I did. He kept trying to get his nose underneath me, but I got a better run off the corner. That's got to be a big help if you got two grooves here.
Yeah, you can definitely run the low line for a few laps and make some good time, but you're going to pay for it at the end of a run. Biggest thing about it is you can't full send it from lap one. You're going to have to be in tire conservation mode the whole race. That's all there is to it. If you run too hard for the first even 5 laps, if you try to push it too hard, after about 15 laps, you're going to regret it. You're just going to go backwards.
That's what I love about this track is you can actually go out there in the first 10 laps and just save and be easy, and you get down near the end of the run. I'm not really sure what the tire run would be. You'd know more than that than I would, but by the end of that run, you'd be just rolling past them because you conserve tires, and that to me is a fun race.
Yeah. Me and Mercurio were turning some practice laps last night, and the most that I got out of a run was about 42 laps before my right front blew.
Okay.
Fuel run is 48, give or take. But to be honest, this is Maverick. I really don't expect to get a full fuel run at Dover.
And every time they got a chance to pit, you're going to want to pit. And
if you put more than 2 laps on your tires, you're going to
want to pit. Yeah. The only thing is good is go out maybe
qualifying. Gentlemen, give me 1 second.
That's all right, bud. We'll grab you a little bit later. Go out there and get him heck, and we'll talk to you a little later, bud. Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So this qualifying session is the one in
actual
which,
one, yeah.
Yeah, we will.
They did a couple. I imagine they probably threw some of the people over to the other server, and they did things over here. Then it's not so quick. I know that the way they do it on Thursday nights, we go to a separate server, but it's only the people that are outside of the top 30 in points. So it's the top 10 out of that group. They're automatically going to make it in here. The way they do it over here, you have two kind of servers. They all go out there and qualify. And so you may not be the fastest qualifier in that run, but you might have beat somebody in the other qualifier. So it does take a few minutes to just get that squared away to figure out who is in and who is out.
Yeah, it's wild the amount of people that can show up to a race sometimes, and you have to have that in your back pocket, Benjamin as like a league admin, he runs this whole show. He's got to have like all these what ifs in place. Like, okay, well, we're good to go. Oh no, there's too many people here tonight. What do we do? Well, we have a qualifying. You lock in your top 20 or whatever it is, and you qualify for the last 20 and save the broadcasters a couple of slots so we can do our thing, and away we go.
So far, about halfway through qualifying, no surprise. Jack Merkel's currently the fastest one, but we got to still get to the second lap around there. But Merkel's probably going to be really good here tonight.
Yeah, that's a good
P2. PB's up there in third. RJ Bishop second. Mendez, that would be Carlos Mendez in the 4th position so far. Mercurio, your current points leader, in 5th. So waiting for it all run through, but.
Well, and even then, the first 12 cars so far after one lap anyway, they're all within a second of each other. It just shows you wonder the people that show up that have to sit on the sidelines, sometimes you can come out and have a bad lap in qualifying, and then you're like, oh man, what? Even last week on Thursday at the Talladega Challenge, the week before, you finish 15th or whatever overall in the race out of 40 cars, and then the next race you didn't make it in.
Yep. The first race I got lucky. I got 11th, and Greg Palmer happened to be in Italy, so that opened up 1 slot. This last weekend they had 3 slots opening. Unfortunately, Randy Waugh wasn't there. His son Corey was having an issue, so he was with him at the hospital. And then there's a couple other drivers that didn't make it, but unfortunately I qualified 15th and I was 2 away. So even saw Tom Dixon in there, which was pretty cool. He didn't make the field as well. He was 2 below me, but it was nice to see Tom out and about.
Yeah, I know Tom's had some health issues too, but that's cool if he's able to qualify for something like that. That's a big race.
Are you reading the chat?
The chat in
Robert Spring. We already know what it's about, so.
on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got lots of notes coming in.
Yeah. Blaine almost called in sick just because of the Valheimism.
Yeah, that Valheim game is a lot of fun, I tell you.
Yeah. We got to make up Valheim cars to race them, I guess. But so let's go through qualifying real quick. We got Jack Merkel on the pole with a 2:21.880. Just using that for an example, just about 0.2 of a second faster than R.J. Bishop in second. Then there's Jonathan Peavy. I believe that's Carlos Mendez. I hope I'm saying that.
Yep. He's here most weeks, actually, Carlos.
Yeah. Then 5th is your current point leader, Josh Mercurio. I was looking to see if GNL was still working because it has had issues with that in the past. Alex Rodrigo. No, it's not Alex. It's Allison. That's right. I knew that. I got to just start remembering to go back to the last names again because that seems to always work better for me. Is in 6th. 7th is Brown. 8th is Noah Hart. 9th is going to be Pablo Victor. 10th is going to be Neves. 11th, a new, not necessarily a new driver to us, but a new driver over here, Jonathan Wall, man. Little Florida boy up here. See what he can do with these boys. Then we have the 19, Chris Aiken, another SMO guy. 30, Michael Norman, FRN fellow broadcaster. 14th is going to be Harvey Edwards. 15th is Solomon. I believe that's a new one.
Should be Herbert. I think it's Herbert Solomon.
Herbert Solomon. I think he's been here before. I'm not 100% sure. But the 16th is the 44th Scully. 17th is Anthony McCrory. 18th is going to be Vegas. Iker. I hope I'm saying that right. No.
No. You're thinking of
that's Vera. Sorry.
Iker Vera. Yeah. I'm not sure of Vegas' first name. We'll get it off GNL here in a second. He hasn't logged a lap yet. So. Yep.
So the 19th is going to be the 85, Josh too, another SMO guy. 20th, Sean Dotson. His old Belix out there tonight. 21st is Matthew. 22nd is Revez Jr. Did I say that right?
Reyes.
I always screwed that one up for some reason. I don't know why. Terrible with names, but 23rd is going to be McIntyre. 24, Augusto, right?
Yep.
25th is Garcia. 26th, Tager. 27th, Jorge Ponchon. I'm kind of getting that one right lately, I guess. 8th is Ballard. 29th. Yep. 29th is Moore. Then there's Iker, 30, Iker Vera. 31st is Luckadoo. I hope I'm saying that right. 32nd is Kennedy. 33rd is Matt Snyder, isn't it, Matt?
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Exactly. We do too much broadcasting, I'm telling you. 24th is Benjamin Snyder. 25th is Carroll. And we're still going. I had to move things so I could see here. Then there again, you always seem to beat me, but we are side by side today. But Blaine Donaldson and Rod Weston, and then Keith Hughes, Austin LaPlante back there, then Nate Gunther, Ulysses Sandoval, and Christian Torres tops off the field from Mark Snyder all the way down to Torres, were the drivers that elected not to take a qualifying time. So,
is PV back out there now? He should be. We should grab him again, get him back in here. He's putting around here somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm sure he's out there.
They already tried to do the interview. They had to cut it off because of qualifying.
Really? Well, now we're trying to do it again, and you're talking.
Hey, there he is.
There you are. I was sneaky like that. I guess I should have moved it into the waiting room first, but that's okay. She didn't say something bad about Blaine,
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking it, but.
So back to the race. What are your chances you think you got here? You qualified relatively decent.
Yep, qualified third. I was practicing qualifying last night. I ran an 826 in practice quality, and I just missed the bottom and going into turn one, didn't get all the way down, so I lost a little bit of time to Merkel for that. But his biggest thing is going to be staying out of trouble, saving your tires. If you can avoid the wrecks, and if you can avoid burning your tires off, you've got a chance.
Now, being up front though, there like that, you know, you're going to have possibly, you know, a lot of drivers behind you that may be a little more hungry, or you know, not so much in you know, tire conservation mode. You know what I mean? Do you race it a little differently, kind of, sort of thinking? You know what I mean? Or do you let them go?
Yeah, go right ahead. You want to burn your tires off in 5 laps? Go right ahead. I'll see you in about 5 more laps.
There you go. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to know. So how far do you drop down before you finally say, I got to go?
If I'm dropping that much, then I am going too slow. But if I drop, say 5-6 positions, and people are just tearing them off, because I know what pace I need to run to be competitive and to make my tires last. I've put probably 80 to 100 laps on this track in the last 2 days. So I've really practiced this track because I love Dover. I've had great success here, not just in Maverick, but in other series as well. It's one of my favorite tracks to run. I'm running a throwback to Dale Jr.'s 9/11 win. So I'm hopeful that I can recreate that win.
All right. Well, we'll let you, unless Blaine, you have a question for Jonathan?
No, man, we're good. Like I was going to say, I was going to mention the car. It looks pretty awesome, so that thing will be good luck, I'm sure.
I'm hoping so. I don't have Wilson riding with me though.
All right. Well, we will, you know, wish you good luck and let you get down there. And maybe during the race, sometimes we get a chance during a caution, we'll grab you and bring you up, and you can tell us a little more how your race is going.
Sounds good, fellas.
All right. Good luck.
Yep, you're on our list today, so get ready.
Yeah, thank you.
Pretty cool. So they did not qualifiers. There were only 4 cars that did not make the field, and that would be JP Avalier, I would say, Matthias Yankee, Kobe Lamas did not make the field, and Miguel Figueroa was one of the 4 that did not make the field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, of course, we're always talking about where everybody is from. So there was 27 drivers from the United States. There's 7 from Brazil. 1 from Argentina, 1 from Australia. I don't remember who that one is, but I do know that they have one that comes in once in a while.
I think it's Scully.
Okay, Scully, you're right. I believe you're right. And 1 from Chile, 1 from Colombia, 1 from Ecuador, and 1 from Venezuela.
I love the South American, like, the contingent here is pretty awesome. There's a lot of guys from down there.
Makes that we have tonight, there are 11 Dodges, 7 Fords, 3 Chevrolets, 5 Lexuses, 4 Toyotas, 3 Cadillacs, 2 Kias, we know that's the Snyder boys, 1 Buick, that would be Sean Dotson, and 1 Honda, and that is Keith Hughes.
And you said Keith was running a different...
different paint scheme tonight. It's not in the Purina car.
Is his cat still on it? I guess we can.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it that close. I'm just going ahead there to see what it looks like.
I'm going to find him here. What number is he running? 60?
82.
Oh, right, 82.
The Dell? Is that Bell? I'll look at it closer. Taco Bell? No. Sure. What? He just disappeared.
Of course he did.
Did you see the guy doing the half pike down the front stretch?
Oh, I've seen all kinds of stuff.
During the interview there, I happened to be on pit road. I believe it was the back stretch, or front stretch, I mean. And I watched somebody kind of slide down like a half pike down through there.
Nice. All right, so we are gridding up. And as always, we have a Grand Marshal. Oh, well, oh no, is my ticker off again? What is happening with my tickers?
Get your Grand Marshal done, then we'll worry about the ticker.
Let's do the Grand Marshal. Yes, of course. Well, just like last year, Mike Betzler from the Big Mike Roadshow. He was at Dover, and he cut this little video and sent it over to us. So this is pretty awesome. So take it away, Big Mike.
Hello, everybody. This is Big Mike from the Big Mike Roadshow here for today's High Voltage Racing League Maverick Cup race here at Dover Motor Speedway. Get ready, drivers! Start your engines! Let's go racing!
Big Mike, usually I would say Big Mike has one of the better ones on the year. With that, the Grand Marshal. Thank you, Big Mike, and Big Mike's Roadshow. Let's see if I can fix this too.
No.
Right now, probably
A little
not.
bit difference there. I saw Keith Hughes come out of pit road, and it looked like he stopped to let people go by. So he might have requested it in the longest line just to stay out of the trouble. So looking through it now, the Garcia and Astro one. So there's a couple of them, I believe, that ask for end of longest line penalty. And what that does is they get to qualify, they get their good track position during qualifying, but for the race, sometimes on a track like this where it's really, really close, they actually, as we get the green flag, they just start in the back, so they stay out of trouble.
Game crash. Just give me a second.
Looking at your leader currently right now, Jack Merkel got a great start. R.J. Bishop tucked right in behind him. Jonathan Peavy still side by side with, I believe that's the 26. Oh, sorry, there's another car that looked very similar to it. That is the 17 of Mendez. Currently, as Peavy said, he was letting him go. Mendez is really, looks like he's driving that thing fairly hard. Interesting to see how far PB goes back before he starts to go. Josh Mercurio starts to drop down in the bottom. He's going by PB. Two cars down on the bottom of the track. They're kind of off pace a little bit. I don't know if they started on pit road. Trying to find out. Nope, they must have they must have started on pit road or had something happen. That would be Torres is one of the cars that's currently already 2 laps down, and the 89. 89, not that one. Also stayed, is out 2 laps down. I believe they must have started from pit road.
All right, so technical difficulties have been ironed out temporarily. Hopefully that holds. Oh, man, I don't know what's up with this ticker stuff. We got to work it. Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. I double check everything and then it changes. This new computer's funny. Anyway, here we are, right? The Jack Merkel, and you can see there. I'm curious to see the fall off on the tires too, because like what everybody's saying, it's pretty wild. So that'll be. You see there, they're just staying, single file, get these things warmed up. This game, this simulator is pretty good. I mean, you do have to get the car warmed up. When guys start trying to do some crazy 2x2 stuff, especially a track like this on cold tires, it's just going to be a nightmare. And there we go, 3 wide. As I say that, but they got through it.
I was just going to say, Brown, the 68 of Brown, went into the corner pretty much in the 3rd groove up. Lost the back of the car just a little bit. Saved it, just kind of slowed him down just enough so that the drivers that were underneath him was able to drive by. But we lost a little bit of time there just spinning the tires kind of off the corner, middle off the corner on that high groove. Didn't go high and higher than that dark groove that they have out there. But I did note that in that dark groove there, right on the high side of that, it was actually really comfortable. As I said before, I was running side by side with Pablo Vitor. He had fresher tires than I did. By running up there, he was unable to get past me. He was able to put his nose up underneath me through the middle of the corners. I just got a better run off on the tight side.
That's a track builder too. I wonder if I mean, I would do it if I knew how to do it. You would, I know how you can control the grip lanes, like what lanes have more grip and blah, blah, blah. So, like, I would assume, like, the main grip would reflect in the texture of the track. Like, you know, the darker part of the track would be the ideal spot to run. You know, like, that's kind of how I would build a track.
Yeah, so
do you find that here?
Yes. Yeah, so usually it is pretty much like that. I don't, like I said, not 100% sure about this version of the track. I do know that there was a Brian Ring Dover, and I liked it because the grooves were about the same. Looks like we're under caution on lap 11. Not bad. I mean, they amazed us last year at Bristol with a lot of green flag runs. With this many drivers out there, here, you know, I would have thought maybe there were more, but there were some pretty respectable driving out there. A lot of give and take, and that's what you need.
Looks like Daniel Matthew is around backwards here. We'll start with him. A lot of rear end damage on the back of that car.
Noted when I took it ride around out there that it was a little bit loose, kind of on entry.
Oh,
if you overdrove it. So, I mean, it could have been that.
Oh, it was a self-spin, but then they weren't able to avoid him. Oh, I like that car. Danica Matthew had awesome paint job there. And then, whoa, who was that? Who was that masked man? Oh, that was the pace car. From this angle, that pace car, I was like, who's driving through the wreck like this? It's the pace car. The 18 looks pretty awesome. Who's driving that thing? The 18 of Lucas Kennedy. Very sharp, simple paint job. Big fan of simple.
That's like we always talk about Jorge.
I'm a big fan of complicated too. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'm just a big fan of design. You know, like a really good car design. Unfortunately, now all the cool pit wagons are gone because the game crashed on them. The one thing that the sim does is, if you end up crashing after the race has begun, you come back in and there's just no pit stalls.
So I didn't quite catch who was going to be the lucky dogs out of that. We currently have 6 cars that are 1 lap down. So, but it's a question of whether or not they were a lap down before the caution. So I know that Torres and, oh gosh, I can't remember, the 98, I think it was, were the 2 that had come off pit road. The 89, sorry. And that would be more. They might be, I think they are staying out to get the wave around, which is a risky, but possibly, you know, might be a smart move. You know, they were 2 laps down to begin with, so by staying out, yeah, you got 12 laps on your tire, just like Jonathan Peavy said, you know, you got 2 laps on them, you're going down and changing them. But if you're in a scenario where you're a lap down, you know, you might be able to go out there and you just hope, you know, for just a few laps, and possibly another caution, and then of course that pays off, you go down and you get fresh tires. Where it doesn't pay off, it ends up having a long green flag run. You're going to get, you know, caught up on real quick, and you're just going to go backwards.
We just saw the wave around drivers get to go ahead there as the lights go out on the pace vehicle. That's snoring in the background is my dog.
So many cars. Just by going through the buttons, it took a little bit to get there. Jack Burkle is going to be on the first starting point in first place. Second is going to be Josh Mercurio, current points leader. Third is going to be RJ Bishop. Fourth is Jonathan Peavy. Fifth is Mendez. Sixth is John Wall. Then Chris Aiken, Ellison Rodrigo, Pablo Vitor, and 16, isn't that Vera? The Leaf.
16 is Uder Neves.
There's so many new drivers this week. It's not necessarily new to the series, just ones that haven't been here all the time.
Or in a little while, yeah. Neves has come and gone a few times, so I know that name, but yeah. Focus currently on the 58 here, John Wall. SMO's got some drivers in the race tonight.
Yeah.
People love Dover, and it's a great track.
It is. It is a great track, and what's so great about it, and like I said, I always talk about it in my book, is just the fact that there's so much different strategy that you can use. You go out there, like PB said, and just, race hard and just charge and charge and charge. In 15 laps, your tires are going to be gone, you're going to go backwards. You save, conserve, and get about that 15 lap point, you'll start moving forward. I mean, I've done that many a time here. Won races here because of that. So that's what you got to kind of do, is you got to race the track and not necessarily the people around you. And it works out better for you.
So if everybody's driving away, don't feel bad. Just start pulling them back in.
As long as you're comfortable speed, you're doing well, you will, you definitely will have a chance. The only thing that kills you there is actually cautions,
Right.
You save too much, and then, about the time it's time for you to make a move, caution comes out, you get to the point where you really don't gain anything.
Yeah, and it's like you get into a groove and you're hitting your marks and you're doing your thing, and then it's like, yellow flag.
Yeah.
It's like...
Hard to get that rhythm right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if, like you said, everybody's driving away from me, I was like, whatever, like you said, just race your own race. And then you start pulling them all back in, you start picking people off. But you need some long green flag runs to make that happen. Oh, the bumping and grind, it looks like Wall is around.
The 13 was lucky to there.
Hard hit. 44.
Still green. Nope,
It's
caution is down now.
Yeah.
The 13 there, Luckadoo, I don't know if he had spun or got caught him into something. I just looked over there and I think maybe he did, but he was kind of getting in the way of the leaders. It looked like Jack Merkel actually gave him a little bit of incentive to go. Yeah.
Taking a look at the point standings here currently coming into this race. You can see the position of the driver, the number of the car they're driving, their name, where they're from, how many points they got, the gap to first. They do track a lot of stats here.
Oh, yeah.
Or they do stat a lot of tracks, one or the other.
Well, either way. Well, past winners here at Dover in 21, that was Brad Burke. 22 was Todd Wilson. 23, Todd Wilson again. 24 was Phil Parker. And as we talked about before, the 2025 Dover champion was Jonathan Peavy. Ben thinks we don't use the notes.
Oh, the notes are fantastic. I mean, you're broadcasting over here at Maverick. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. Ben hooks us up.
Every week, there's always some good information that we have at our disposal to use if we need to. So, one thing I don't like about TV1, I think it's going into turn 1, or maybe it's into turn 3. There's a building slightly in the way.
This track, I believe, has been updated. We were talking to PV about it a bit ago. It definitely has been updated on the camera side of things. I believe we had a lot of problems last time that one of the cameras, TV1 or 2, was behind like trackside objects an awful lot.
Right.
Now there's the odd post and the odd corner of a building that get in the way, but at least now you're not, counting to 5 before you can see the cars again.
When you come out of when they come out of the turn 2 there, kind of going down the back stretch going into 3, it's just a little bit of a corner of the building that kind of blocks the track for me with TV1. I'll have to try TV2.
Spectator cam's a good one too.
Yep.
We got to mention Big Mike on the Big Mike Road Show doing the Grand Marshal this evening. It's a podcast. He's been generous enough the last 2 seasons here. He did the 2025 Dover race as well, Grand Marshal. And this year's kind of neat because he's actually there. A lot of guys we know from last week were telling us they were headed over to Dover. So I guess a lot of the people that race around us and with us and must live in the Delaware area.
Well, we saw, got there last Saturday and we started to do the race there. And we were like, why is Greg Palmer in Dennis McCarthy's car? We asked Brian, he wasn't sure. So we had the opportunity, we decided, well, let's, grab him, pull him up there, and find out why Palmer, why are you driving, the 024 car for Dennis McCarthy? Well, lo and behold, it was Dennis McCarthy. He was at Greg's house, driving in his sim. It's a little different, but they didn't get a chance to really go too crazy. They just got him in the car. His name was in there. They were going to fix it, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and they went to the race, right? Because you got Palmer, McCarthy. I know Ulysses Sandoval said he was going down there with some people, and it's like
Bond, I think, was there.
Yeah,
Heard a lot of guys went down there. So, of course, if you're in the Jersey, Maryland area, closest one to me is Loudon. Been there a few times for the Cup. We've gone on the Saturdays and even watching the Global Rallycross over there is pretty cool. As the pace car is down pit road, Josh Mercurio this time. Green flag. R.J. Bishop, the little tire spin on that high side. Mercurio didn't get a great run, but he didn't spin the tires like R.J. did. So he is going to clear R.J. Bishop off from 2.
Momentarily.
Oh, no. Saw somebody back there just a little bit out of shape, not sure whether it caused a caution. Looked like they straightened it out and lost a few positions, but it is going to be a caution.
Yeah, closest tracks to me, I think, would be Michigan and probably Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Glen is upstate New York.
Yeah, I mean, being in Canada, Michigan
Where's more
is
so?
actually
Where's more?
north
Where's more? Yeah, that's yeah. You're down that far in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, we're in southeastern Ontario, but like if you go over to if you ran across to the span there, I can't remember the name of the bridge. I think they named it after Gordie Howe because we name everything after hockey players. I believe. Is it Detroit? Part of Michigan is north of where I am.
Yep.
Like it's because it kind of like Ontario kind of wraps around it.
Yep. But Josh Mercurio was the leader. Elected to come in and pit.
Looks like 17 there. Got sideways in the corner.
Oh, black car. Get a little out of shape. I don't think Mercurio pitted the last time by. The last caution, so this time he is going to pit 4 tires fuel. Same with R.J. Bishop. Jorge Pachalin is pitting. Kirby Edwards. Matt McIntyre. The 68 of Brown. EQ. Vera. Obviously the 17 you said was involved in that one. Hart's in there.
Well, there's cars upside down, like holy moly. Who is that? Oh, that's McCreary. Well, you know what happens when a car goes upside down on their lid? You gotta buy him a cockpit and see what it looks like. Hold on to your lunch. If it is a bologna sandwich, it should be alright. If it was a bowl of soup, maybe not.
This is one of those tracks when something happens, it blocks the whole track and there's not a lot of area to go. Just not a lot of room. The only good thing about the track is the banking is high enough, everything goes to the bottom eventually.
Yeah, well, you're saying, 3-story drop.
Yeah.
Pit road speed, 45. We'll just let McCreary take us for a ride here. Anthony McCreary in the 06. I forgot, I have a cockpit camera right there.
Looks like Jonathan Peavy hit it the time before. Now he's going to stay up. Chris Aiken behind him. And we have Jack Merkel, Pablo Vitor. 127 of Solomon. I think you said that was Herbert.
Herbert, yep.
Then the 43 of Allison Rodrigo. Michael Norman, not in the Kinetics car, not in the car he had last week, but a number 30 Mustang. I don't even think it's a dark horse, but I don't think anybody's made the dark horse Mustang for this mod yet.
Ooh, that'd be cool. The wife's ex, we all get along great. He's been rebuilding and a dark horse.
Yep.
From like the late 80s, early 90s, I think. It's just a monster. Like there's nothing comfortable about that car. But that's the way you gotta do it, right? It's just a beast.
Pace car makes the trip down pit road. Jonathan TV's got control of the field.
Riding on board here with Peavy. This is what Dover looks like from the driver's seat.
Whoa, Chris Aiken on the high side. Whoa, we got a little bit of tire spin. Tracks blocked right behind them all. Now the question is this constitute a caution, or now are we in a caution cooldown period?
It looks like a cooldown.
Kinda has that feel about it.
As long as they all get it sorted out before Peavy gets all the way back around.
Somebody back there. Oh, it was Michael Norman. Lost it going in the middle of the corner and pounded turn 4 wall. I mean hard. Drop back. Yeah, when Norman did in the middle of 3. Looks like he lost it. I don't know if he had assistance. I don't know about that. I just could see the tracks from the middle of the track all the way to the wall. He pounded the turn 4 wall extremely hard.
Yeah, he got around all by himself.
It's still very, very loose out there, so he's probably killed that right rear tire.
Yeah,
he's just hanging on to the next caution.
He'll be fighting.
He's going to go around again.
Around again. Same spot.
That right rear tire has got to be shot.
He might be calling a tow truck.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, we got some more crashing on the front. Straightaway here, we've got a couple cars down low on the apron just waiting for space to get back in there.
Nope, they're still green. Benjamin Snyder's around. He fused at some really good driving through to get through that one. All the way down to the apron to make sure that he was clear of it.
They're definitely in a caution cooldown. Yeah, Norman has retired, so has Andy Liccato and Danica Matthew. You say Luckadoo, I say Liccato. I know one of us is right.
Probably you.
Andy, if you're in the YouTube chat, is it Liccato or Luckadoo? I kind of like them both.
Yeah.
And maybe we just won't call him Andy. We'll call him Jim.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll just mess up both of your names. Apologies in advance, but we're not afraid to ask. Don't be scared to correct us.
We won't know when we're doing it right or wrong until you let us know.
Yep, that's it. We'll keep on messing it up. Sometimes on purpose.
And we have done that before.
Thanks for watching Tarnation TV. I'm Spiff Muggins, joined by Lloyd Christmas.
All I can say to that,
black flag cleared.
All I can say to that is bah humbug. But I do agree with you on the 18 car. That's the first time I've seen it tonight. That is a very simple cut, but yet very elegant paint scheme. I kind of like that.
Yep. Sharp.
Yep.
Dodge Dart.
Looking to just see if I could find out who's what, where, and how. But currently in the 3rd spot, closely followed by Pablo Victor and Alonso Rodrigo. Jack Merkel in the 2nd spot, passing the electric car. The 3rd is looks like the 95 as we got a car around at Torres.
And Ballard there at 95 in the 25th position.
Ballard, that's what it was.
Bryce Ballard. So he said he
Anthony
sounds like
Peavy.
He sounds like
leading.
Comic book character or something. Bryce Ballard, like he's a billionaire, like Bruce Wayne or something.
Peavy is still currently the leader. He said that he was going to be easy on his tires and kind of take it easy. Oh no!
He's so smooth though. He's getting through all this lap traffic. It's a shame that they're wrecking there now. This is probably going to bring up a yellow.
That was a kind of a situation where, now we got them back to the level. They were they're dicing their way around the lap cars.
It almost looked like he gave up a little speed there and let a couple of guys get their lap back. That was cool.
Yeah, that's a possibility. And
He
like I
checked
said,
up pretty hard.
they were trying to get through the traffic, and unfortunately Merkel, I believe, and Josh too, somewhere got together a little bit there. I saw Josh too around, so I'm not sure how that happened, but it did happen. There goes. So I didn't know that John Wall was a lap down. So he must have been involved in one of those. It's actually two? No, not two. That's he's 5 laps down. Okay, because I saw him go by. PV's pitting. I'd like to say somebody is staying out, but I'm sure they are, because they have some cars that have to stay out, because if you're a lap down, you're required to pit on the second time by. So I'm trying to figure out who is going to be the leader, if anybody. Did all of the lead cars, I believe all of the lead cars might have pitted. Still, we're only about a third of the way through the race. If you're going to stay out, lead a lap, now's the time to do it, because you may have a little time to get to work your way up through the field, may not.
Right. Join us next week at Maverick. You can see right there. We'll be at Charlotte. The week after that, we'll be at Michigan. So we got some big tracks coming up. And then Pocono. Talk about big.
It was Charlotte next week?
Charlotte next week, yes. And then the following week, Michigan. The following week, Pocono. And then Sonoma. And Chicago.
I wonder if they're going to run Charlotte like the Coca-Cola 600? Or,
Ooh.
you know, because if it is, it's a little bit longer distance.
Yeah. I forget about that. I forget, like, you got the Daytona 500 is the first race of the season. And you get the Daytona 400, that's the night race halfway through the season.
Yep.
But then you've got that 600, man. Is that like a twilight race? It goes from like afternoon into evening into night?
Starts in the afternoon, ends at night. The transition.
That has to be one of the craziest races to win, man. Like, not only is it 600 miles, you're also going from day to twilight to evening. Track is changing, temperatures, like everything is just so nuts.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. Sometimes, some years, you know, there's a dominant car and then the car stays dominant, you know, all race long. Other times that there'll be, you know, a dominant car in the beginning, and then lo and behold, when the sun goes down, the track temperature drops, all of a sudden a car that wasn't really in contention at that time now suddenly is in contention, and, you know, and it's faster than everybody else. So it really depends on how they set the car up for what, you know, conditions they want to be set up for. So
that's the thing. Yeah, you could plan. I mean, you would have to plan to be good in the cooler conditions.
You'd want to be, yeah.
You know, under the lights instead of under the sun, because that's the end of the race. You know, you
want to do it though in a way that you're good in the sun and have enough adjustability into the car, so you already know, you know, when it comes to this time and we pit, we're going to start making the changes back to what we want to be in the cold.
Yeah, it's such a cool race. I always loved that. Just the science behind racing is already insane enough, and then you're going to go from day to evening to night. It's awesome.
Pace cars on pit road. Jonathan Peavy's got the point. Chris Aiken, Alison Rodrigo, Austin LaPlante up there in the 4th spot right now. Pablo Victor, always running up near the front. Pablo is.
Paulo.
Yeah.
No B.
Pablo.
Paulo.
Paulo. Okay, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Victor. Interesting.
Mr. Victor.
Monster car. Austin LaPlante got dropped back just a little bit on that high side. Couldn't get the grip off the corner that he needed. But there again, you know, like PV said, he could be just saving a little bit. He's got Jack Merkel on the inside of him right now, but he's doing a fairly decent job of holding him off.
See, I like some of these camera angles on TV2. I think TV2 last year had a different cam pack, because when it's in behind the fence and stuff, it looks really cool. I recall this being fairly covered up last time around, so they've definitely tweaked the camera file.
Benjamin gave us the proper way to pronunciate it. It's Vitor.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Pablo Vitor.
Yeah, Paulo Vitor, yeah.
Jonathan Peavy currently out there. So far, he has led 21 laps tonight. Closest guy to lead in next to him would be Jack Merkel at 20. The rest of the guys have just got a 1 lap here, led there and there, other than Josh Mercurio, who led 4 laps earlier on in the event. So far right now, the fastest car out there is Josh Mercurio at a 163.161. That may change. We'll see. Has to depend, depending on like a late race caution. Somebody comes in and gets 4 tires. We'll probably see faster speeds later on when they're out there with, newer tires and not as much distance to go.
Right. Look at that, the 96 there of Ulysses Sandoval back in 12th. We got Nick Gunther right behind him with the golden wheels.
Question.
Brown, I believe, was Alexander. Yep, Alexander Brown in the 68. Sorry, go ahead.
I say the question is there a place that Ulysses Sandoval does not run?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't run an open speedway, but everywhere we go, we find him,
Yeah. Yeah, for a guy that only started getting into NASCAR 2003 season about 5 years ago now, maybe at the most.
Probably puts more laps than most guys.
Oh, he's got me beat. I've been playing this thing for 23 years, and I guarantee you he's got me beat in online laps.
Oh, he runs Tuesdays. He runs, I don't know if he runs Wednesdays, but we do know that he runs Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and I'm not sure about Sunday because, we used to see him every once in a while over there at the Aero 88 series at the ASR on Sunday, but they're currently not running anything on Sunday night right now.
But Fast is available. Fast races on Sundays. So
he may go there too. Yeah,
I remember seeing him there a few times, I believe, also. So yeah, there's enough leagues in this thing that you could easily find. You could find a race every night of the week.
I'm wondering, just due to the fact that I'm not exactly sure. Oh, we can find out. There've been 4 yellow flags. I'm wondering if PV's changed his philosophy just a little bit. You know what I mean? Running a little bit harder to get out there and stay out front.
Whoa. The race just went by a stand. There's a car standing still right about the start-finish line there. I just focused on PV, and he just went around someone.
Wow. Somebody has got some connection issues.
Oh, yeah, we got a car warping.
I would say warping is an understatement. I don't know if I can find it now. They come off the corner, they were up next to the wall. Next thing they know, they were down the front stretch on the very bottom.
Ooh.
But then Wall noticed the back of his car is pretty beat up. That, in some instances, could be a help, as he's proving the theory right. He is sideways all the way through the middle of the corner. That was quite the drift from the center of the corner all the way to the exit of turn. I believe that was turn 4. He was completely sideways, just driving it.
PV had, we got yellow up. I was going to say PV had a pretty good gap there, but Aiken caught him, but yellow is up.
Yeah. Benjamin was just suggesting that we do a full blast on the 43 of Alison Rodrigo on this restart.
Cool. We can definitely isolate the microphones.
We know everybody's going to pit. We may see somebody stay out just to lead a lap, but we know everybody is going to pit. 4 tires, fuel. PV had told us prior to this race, and we interviewed him there earlier, about 42 laps on tires. If you're, you may be able to go a little bit more if you're a little more conservative. The only time you'd really want to think about that is, when it got down to that point.
I just saw the moment of caution there. It looked like Josh 2 tapped Austin LaPlante just a little bit, unfortunately, there.
A better run from just looking over at the broadcast thing there. It just kind of looked like 2 that might have had newer tires and just got a better run through the middle of the corner and misjudged it a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's funny, like I installed this game again on the new computer, and you can see the shadows that get cast off the walls actually get cast onto the cars. I know that does not happen if you do the DirectX update. I did not do the DirectX update, and you get way more interactive shadows.
Yeah, I just saw when I looked over at the broadcast when Sean Dotson went down there, you could see the shadow of the pit road wall on the car. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always thought it was a necessity. Like you had to do the DirectX 9 upgrade because this is DirectX 8.
Yep.
And like, oh, it won't work unless you do 9. I'm like, yes, it is, because I'm doing it right now. And I'm getting 150 frames per second, which is basically as much as you'll ever get out of this game.
That's the reasoning behind me going from Windows 7 to Windows 10. Was the game that I currently wanted to play was DirectX 12, and was the only way you could do it, so I was forced to go to 10.
Yeah, I think this is crazy that this still works. And then like 9 allows you to use reshade a little bit better. And I kind of went back and forth. I'm like, I could use reshade and do some pretty neat stuff with the broadcast with the visuals, but the shadows and the shiny windshields and stuff just look
so much
better to me if I just leave it at DirectX 8 and allow the game to throw proper shadows.
Especially when you're iRace in the car, everywhere except for Daytona and Talladega. And to me, it was always cool when you're going down a fence and whatever, and you could see the shadow coming across the dash and stuff like that. Speaking of which, yellow flags, yellow lights are up on the pace car. Going to make that trip down. Benjamin's suggesting that you do that full blast on either the 43 or the 99. So it's up to you, but we can get a good inside view. Maybe we can see those shadows that are caused by the cars that go underneath the fence if you've got that turned on.
We'll do it. On board right now with Allison Rodrigo. We'll let him take us for a ride. We'll shut the mics off so you guys can crank it up and turn it full blast. Here we are. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the ride. This is a pretty cool sound pack.
Back into caution. Somebody lost it about down 10th, 8th spot. Right there. It was Austin LaPlante. Hampshire native. Yeah. I think he missed the outside wall, but he hit the outside wall. Not sure if that was him or not, but he was down and out of the way, so I would imagine if it wasn't happening.
Microphone's back on. In an instant replay here, we can see the point of caution. It looks like, yeah, Brown on the bottom on the apron there slides up a little bit into Augusto. And then they take out 72, Jorge Pachon into the wall there.
Be interesting to see if
Alexander Vegas in the wrong spot. He's minding his own business and all of a sudden just gets walloped.
Interesting to see too. PV and them guys just pitted over that last caution. do they elect to go down? Remember, he said earlier, you know, probably if you got 2 laps on your tires, you're going to come down. But, you know, just the way the night's going, I hope to see, you know, I'd like to see some green flag runs from here on out, see some green flag pit stops. You know, they're just kind of playing the strategy as the game, the race kind of unfolds, is I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, you go in with a strategy, and sometimes, you know, a badly timed caution or a well-timed caution changes your strategy, and so you sometimes, especially in this game, you have to be willing to adapt and to change during, you know, the feature or the race to make, you know, obviously, so you get to the end and win this thing.
Currently on Alexander Vegas, getting full service. And you can just see the car got repaired there too. It got a little bit wider. Driving a Cadillac. Yeah, Cadillac.
Yeah. Pace car is making the trip down pit road.
It's the sponsor, Mobile One.
Jonathan TV, Jack Merkel, Chris Aiken's still flying around up there. Alison Rodrigo's there, back there in the 4th position. Defuse and Pablo Vito is your 6th place driver going into the start. Merkel got a really good start. Stout on that high side. I think Jonathan, like he talked about before, just going to let him go. Probably not going to let him get too far out, but there's no sense in racing him side by side at this track. Better off to just get nose to tail and you know, run it out a little bit. Try to see if you can, as we have a car, it looks like McIntyre around in turn 2, next to the fence backwards. I'm going to guess we're going to have another caution cooldown.
Yeah, so far they have not brought out the yellow.
But there again too, if it's a single car incident, sometimes they do not bring the rear yellow out. McIntyre's just getting overtaken by the leaders.
Yeah, I think race control waits to see too. If they're able to get it all kind of slightly figured out before the leaders get back around to it, they'll leave it green too, right? Like if
as long as he's out of the way,
track, they gotta stop it. But like if they can get themselves out of the way, just keep going.
As long as he's out of the way enough, I think he's trying to, you know, he's not really up to speed. Probably burn the tires off in that thing. But going into turn 3, the leaders are coming on, went to the high side to give them the run to keep going. He's back there trying, I think, to get down there to the bottom so he possibly could get onto pit road. He's a bit off the pace, so I'm sure he took those tires.
Yeah, Benjamin asking if I got the graphic fixed for the full blast. I did not. I had a screen built for it, and I don't know why I don't have it anymore. I think when I migrated over to the new computer, because Maverick was actually the first league that I started using the new computer for. And that's where I started finding all these bugs that I thought it was just a simple, you know, take your setup for one computer, save it all, move it over, and keep on keeping on. But everything was a little bit off. Even the ticker again tonight, I don't know why it was a little bit shifted, you know, and I think I'm pretty sure I fixed that. But there's something different.
Just a bug you ain't figured out yet.
Yeah. And I swear that I fixed it because we're in race 8. Like, I haven't been running with a messed up ticker for 8. It's like for 8 races, because like Daytona, the Fun Coast 500 would have been race 1, and this is race 8. And I'm like, no, like the tickers all worked. I don't get it. But anyway,
all computer stuff, you know.
Yeah, just weird little things.
Period or something in the wrong spot, you know?
Or I went in and I changed the color and accidentally hit something else and shifted everything down 3 lines. Like, I don't know what happened. Sometimes little stuff like that happens. I was like, did I change something? No, I guess not. And then you find out later, yeah, you did.
John Dotson is still in there, as Ulysses Sandoval is in 11th, Dawson in 10th right now. Currently running back there, just staying out of trouble.
Is Dotson streaming?
I looked, I didn't see it. I'd have to go back and look to see if again if he is.
Rolling a Buick.
Yeah, Buick is the thing. But now we're under yellow flag condition.
He must be going golfing. I wonder if this Buick has a wood grain steering wheel. We're gonna check. Nope.
He is running it live, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, if you want to see what it looks like on the inside of the car, what's Dodson's YouTube channel?
It is... I just looked up Sean Dotson, but I can put the shortcut for that.
Rod will post it in the chat. As long as he focuses.
He actually is running what we would call fire chase, which is very surprising. I could never do it in fire chase.
No.
I don't feel as though you have the control that you need.
For me, anything other than cockpit or roof is detached from the car. I cannot do it. I have to be attached to the car. It has to be roof or cockpit.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I like the cockpit because you visualize the being loose or tight a lot sooner, a lot quicker. I do the roof, like I said, at the Talladega tracks, but the big thing there is because you can see where your front bumper is a lot better than you can in the cockpit. And still, I went over to the 3 monitors, and I'm still working on getting accustomed to them. I know it sounds weird, but your rear mirrors in your car will always say that objects are closer than they appear, while in the 3 monitor wheel, objects are further away than they appear. So I'm still getting used to the distance of that.
Yeah, once you get your bearings, then it'll all be second nature. Currently on board with the 68 of Alexander Brown being shown a black flag. Matt Scully in the 44 is also being shown a black flag. This would be an EOLL, correct? Under
Probably.
yellow?
It depends on 2 different factors. One, a speeding penalty down pit road would be an L in the longest line. It is very easy for a driver to pass a car that stayed out on the track. So one of the problems you have with that is you'll have a driver that's out on the track. Now they're going to stay out, so they're going to go. Instead of just running up onto the car that's in front of them, they will slow down to make sure that nobody gets black flag. But because they slowed down, somebody ends up going on pit road, passing them, and incurs a black flag. So I've always said if you're gonna stay out, just go. Get your butt up to the next car that's in front of you, whether it be it the pace car or any of the other cars. That way you never have to worry about. You're never going to get a black flag for passing somebody when they're pitting.
Right.
But the person that you lag behind will. So Jack Merkel's out in the front, R.J. Bishop second, Jonathan Peavy the third, Chris Aiken's still running out there in the front there, and fourth. Fifth is Keith Hughes, the only Honda in the field.
Dodson's probably driving the only Buick, right?
He is, yeah. Sixth is Allison Rodrigo. Seventh is Nick Gunther. Haven't really seen much from him up there. He's been near the front all night, but hasn't got out there and led a lap yet.
Now I'm thirsty. Iced tea and vodka, Surfside. 2 grams of sugar.
Had me at vodka.
I'm not counting sugar grams if I'm getting into the vodka.
Right. Neither am I.
That has 400 grams of sugar. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just gonna drink it.
So, R.J. Bishop had a really good launch. Spun the tires, but still got a great launch. Jack Merkel was a little bit more conservative, but yet when he got into the corner, being at the bottom, was able to drive it right through. PV puts his nose underneath R.J. Bishop. R.J. wanted to close the door, but could not quite do it. I think PV just messed that corner up a little bit, but still making a good run on the bottom.
Looks like you might hit him off that one. Oh, maybe
Jack
not.
Merkel. Jack Merkel looking in the rearview mirrors and just, yeah, keep doing that, boys. Run them things side by side. Burn them tires right up.
Yep. Tracks like sandpaper.
Yep. And of course, we're back under caution again.
The amber flage in the sky.
We are past the halfway point, though. That's the problem with these short tracks. The laps go by so quick.
Yeah, I mean, and once they get up to speed, they're clipping laps off. What, like, what's the fastest lap? 22 seconds a lap.
Yeah. Just over 22 seconds. And when they get down to the latter part of a run, you'll probably, if they get to the point where we're getting down to our green flag pit stops, I would not be surprised to see like a 25-second lap if they go that long on tires. They fall off that much.
Yeah, you're talking like 3 seconds.
Working on it, Bob. Got to find the right thing. Bob on the chat.
I think it was, yeah, Mark Snyder got into, is that Matthews? Who's that? No, that's not McIntyre? Yeah. Caught up in that.
Just looking through the field, like coming across the 26th position car of Josh too. The right side of that car looks a little pancaked. It looks like he had a little bit of impact on that right-hand side. I'm sure he was involved in that last little wreck, but
his hood's crinkled up too. Mm-hmm. His hood's crinkled up right where it says josheseggs.co.
Yeah.
Weird.
Don't know if it's on an aerodynamic advantage or aerodynamic disadvantage the way he's got that body hung on that car right now. To me, like it'd be more down force, but
yeah. You need yourself some eggs. josheseggs.co.
I don't know how far he ships them.
Coupon code Tarnation TV. Probably won't work, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing. Like you can order them online and get them delivered, but I would assume you'd have to be local because that's a perishable item. I mean, geez, it's an egg. Oh,
package them right. Package them right. Put some cold packs in there. They'd probably be all right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. My cousin has them. I got a friend that has them. Buy too many. After the round of pit stops there, not sure what happened to Jonathan Peavy. I do not see him in the top 10. Alison Rodrigo is the leader. Pace car makes a trip down pit road.
Peavy's back in
second.
16th for Peavy.
Maybe a speeding penalty? Pablo Vitor in third. Nick Gunther up in there in fourth. Josh McCurry fifth. Sixth is Sean Dotson. Ooh, Dotson got a little bit of tire spin there, but kept her going straight. Chris Aiken was on it on that start, on that high side, just rolled right out there, dropped to the bottom of the track, and he is gone. Aiken, I've raced with him a bit. He's pretty good at saving tires, so.
Yeah.
Him, Wall, Jimmy Tedder, those are some guys I've seen go the longest on tires, depending on the track too. A track like this, you're going to be limited no matter what you do. If you're trying to stay up front, you are going to burn them up a little bit. You're probably only going to still get that 42 laps on them.
Yeah, Matt McIntyre and Christian Torres, 8 laps down, 13 laps down, will take over John Wall's position as he retired. About 8 laps ago, John Wall is out of the race. Watching Alison Rodrigo here. Mercurial looking, trying to get it to stick down low.
Doing the math real quick in my head, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right, but Jonathan Peavy was telling us that he could do about 42 laps. At lap 88, we were 37 laps to go. If this thing goes green...
Are you out of your mind? Are you saying if this thing goes green, he might be able to make it?
Fuel? Yes. Tires?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what? Not having to get fuel though is a bonus.
Yeah, but I think somebody could make it. If it went green. Just the question is Aiken going too hard right now? Josh Mercurio is pushing him pretty hard. Is Josh running too hard? The drivers that are lagging back a little bit. Are they saving enough? You know, Nick Gunther back there. Oh boy,
Dotson into the wall. Oh man.
Pablo Victor and I thought it was Sean Dodson got together a little bit there.
Somehow that didn't turn into a massive accident. Holy
No,
moly.
that's a heck of a save.
Dotson got out of shape, and somehow they were able to let him. They helped him get back in line somehow. Here's a replay of it.
You see Vitor just left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Kept it going straight and never lifted.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Still focus on Dotson here. They're going 3 wide. This is 15th place, by the way.
So I was just, you know, sneaking in there in the chat, looking. And, you know, Alonso Rodrigo isn't pushing this time, go by. So I think Rodrigo's back there just saving a little bit. Because they can make the distance, you know, if you save a little bit of tires. I just don't know if Mercurio and Aiken are going to be saving enough. They may be, you know, kind of thinking that if we get a bit of a run, another yellow flag, you know, they'll be sitting pretty.
And I find here, too, like you said, you get in that rhythm and guys are just hitting their marks. With just a lapse of concentration. And it's just a gong show. Like, because it's so tight, right?
You overshoot, you get a little bit tight, you burn that right rear a little bit, now you've killed, you know, 2 or 3 laps. Same thing.
And that wall will eat you. Like, we've seen guys go up into that wall. And they don't just brush that thing; they pummel that wall.
And that's what happens here. Is you're running along. You probably think you're doing kind of sort of consistent laps, and you're doing really good. And all of a sudden, that tire goes from the green to yellow, and you've been doing the same thing, the same time, same laps, everything. You come into that corner, all of a sudden, you don't have that grip anymore.
Yeah, and then you're like, now that's the realization of, okay, I need to adjust this now, but it might be too late.
Aiken
to the
wicked
bottom.
Sideways off that corner.
Yeah, that would be called loose, I would think.
I would think so.
Weird.
I think he's going to let Mercurio go. I think he's kind of coming to that realization this thing could go green the rest of the way. Let's back off and conserve a little bit. The pressure of someone behind you like that can make you make mistakes. Aiken doesn't make too many, but he probably figured, you know what, I made a little bit of a mistake there. I'll let him go up front and let him burn his stuff off. Keep him looking in the rearview mirror.
I was going to say, if you're looking in the rearview mirror, sometimes you tend to use it up a little bit quicker.
Yep.
Because you're not, unless you can just ignore it.
I have no problem. I can ignore it and just keep going.
Yeah. Just keep hitting your points and...
Aiken coming back at him, though.
Yeah. This is the race for first. Mercurio in first in the 86 and Aiken in that 19. Coming up with some lap traffic. There's Mark Snyder.
Probably just stay, like we done. Just stay to the high side, let him go. Just trying to finish his race.
Mark Snyder is 3 laps down and will now go 4 laps down. Thanks again, everybody, for watching on the YouTube channel and all the drivers coming out tonight. We needed knockout qualifying this evening. Of course, Maverick for having to do this for them. That's always fun. Next Tuesday, we'll be here again. Charlotte.
So, looking back, Alonso Rodrigo back there in the 3rd position, about 1.4 seconds behind him, Nick Gunn, Pablo Victor, and where did he come from? Jobs and Peavy is up to the 6th spot. And coming, I think he's yellow flag. Okay, so that's what the guys up front were hoping for.
So we'll see the point of caution here. See what happens. See if we can find that for you. Remember here at Maverick, there will be no flags within the last 5 laps.
And we're going to be probably around 20 laps to go when they get done with this caution. The guys are everybody's going to pit, pretty sure. I'll go down there, get 4 brand new tires. And now, even though they can go 42, you still got to conserve a little bit.
Oof. So track is down on the apron, but that's not the point of caution. That point of caution was... One second here. I had it. Oh, wow. It's it's the 96 of Ulysses Sandoval in there. Oh, man. The 17 is just barrel rolling. Oh, man. Who's in the 17? I can't remember who the 17 is. Carlos Mendez. Wow, Carlos went for a ride. He's in 31st spot right there. Well, that thing, how many times did that thing roll? Holy moly.
Wait, here we go.
We're going to find out.
He's going to start counting.
Yep. How many times did the tires come back to the track?
One, two.
Guess we can't really see it from that angle. Let's see. Here we go.
All those young kids out there going, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Didn't watch Sesame Street.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I think it's 7. Might even be 8. Nope, 7.5. 7.5. Which means, unfortunately, he landed on his roof.
Admins are going to be extremely busy with waiver rounds because there are a ton of them. A few of the drivers that have elected to use this chance to try to get themselves back on the lead lap. I was going to say, I think it was Brown who had led that last lap, but now it looks like that Josh Mercurio, after the round of cautions, is going to be the leader. Have you watched the pace car at all tonight through the corners? They're doing a reverse drift. The back end of the car keeps going down the track in the corners.
Oh, does
Kind
it?
of fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Not going fast enough. He's starting to slip.
So we're going to have 20 laps to go when we get to the line. Pace car is down the backstretch. Lights are off. Josh Mercurio on a point. Chris Egan, Nick Gunther has been quietly running around there in the top all night long. Alton Rodrigo as well has been running up there. Jonathan Peavy's been up there for most of the night, but had to go back for a little bit. Has managed to work his way back up through there. Then we have Jack Murray, Pablo Vitor, and Keith Hughes. Pace car's in, lights are off, we're getting ready to go green again. Who's going to spin the tires? Really good start. Yeah, Gunther did, yeah. Gunther spun the tires a little bit. Peavy was able to drive underneath him. Oh, it's going to change a little bit now, because, we know that they can make it on tires easily. I just don't think they're going to go crazy overdriving, but now's getting down to the time where, if you think you got something for them, you've got to get up there. You got to make up some positions, get yourself up there as Chris Aiken drives down low on Jack Merkel. Let's see if he can get that pass done. Merkel comes back on the high side.
I mean, this top 10 right here is going to be a good show. Yep. Edward, Hart, Vitor, Hughes, Gunther, Rodrigo, Peavy, Aiken, Merkel, and Mercurio.
I know the who's who over here. Peavy's trying to work over Keith Hughes there. Not saving a whole lot of tires as much right now, so he gets him in the corner, but he's unable to come off the corner in front of him, which is pinching him down, which makes it even harder for him to get through the corner and come off the exit. Can't have it this time.
Way high there, yeah.
He was able to drift up in front of him.
That'll be 4th place.
So you got to remember, Chris Aiken, he's not a regular here. He's here to win. That's what he does and does well. He's here to just kind of stink up the show. So, I know Josh Mercurio, is the points leader, but he wants to keep that points lead. He wants to pad in that points lead a little bit, so he's going to do all he can to keep Aiken behind him. Aiken, like I said, he's just here to win, so he's going to do whatever he can. Other than, I've raced with Chris long enough, he's not going to get into the back of Josh and move him, but he is going to try his darndest to get by him.
And these guys have raced together before, so they're both familiar with each other, which is good too. They will race each other hard.
Oh yeah.
But they're not dirty at all.
As an SMO are awesome, and they've got some talent over there. So Petey
it's
just
cool to
got
see
into
them migrating around, coming into different leagues here too. It's pretty sweet. Usually they're self-contained.
They run their deal on Sunday and Monday, and a few of them run at TMP on Wednesday. So.
And TMP and SMO are now together, right? They've merged.
They kind of, sort of. They're two different leagues, but they run on the same server.
Right. They're sharing resources.
Somewhat, yeah.
Why pay for two team speaks if you don't have to? We run these 3 days and we run these 2 days. Let's just do it together.
They basically share a server. TMP runs off from my TeamSpeak. SMO has its own TeamSpeak.
Oh, okay. Right. You're right. Merkel looking underneath Aiken. That's for second place right there.
With Aiken, the back of his car is beat up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That could be hindering him too. I don't think it's probably so much that the straightaway speed, but it could be a lot of times when that happens, the car has a tendency to be a little bit looser. And if it's just getting a little too loose on him, it's going to make it harder for him to get off the corner.
Now is Merkel going to be able to get to Mercurio? Who's got the tires? There's still 10 laps left. Merkel's railing in.
Stevie just hunting around back there in the fourth spot. Do you have anything for Chris Aiken? Can he get up there and pass these other guys? Running out of time he is, for sure. Ooh. That kind of killed the momentum of PB there. A lap car on the high side there.
Kennedy,
Just caught him at the wrong place, the wrong time, and it just kind of took away the exit of Jonathan Peavy there. I saw a little smoke there, but we're not quite to the 5-lap mark to go yet. Probably a single car spin. Jack Merkel making the move to the bottom. Wants to add.
Can he make it happen?
Still going to be hard doing it getting off the corner. You can see Mercurio gets a great run off the corner. Merkel's diving that thing in there pretty hard. Giving him plenty of room though. They're good side by side. Yeah, Merkel gets it done, but Mercurio crossover onto the inside. Now the question is, can Mercurio do it on that bottom? Chris Aiken got the best view of the house, and Jonathan Peavy's back there going, "Keep it up, guys, I'm coming." When they run side by side, they're going to allow Jonathan Peavy to get up to them. Mercurio had to back out of that challenge that he had on the bottom. They're just not going to do it. 5 to go. This is going to be no cautions from here on out, no matter what happens.
I love that crossover stuff.
Yeah.
But does it chew the tires? Yes, it does.
Does it work? Yes, it does.
No!
Oh, no!
No yellows. Aiken.
Somebody lost focus there.
Somebody lost focus. That is saying the least right there. That was crazy. That blew up the whole front 10, I think.
That shouldn't be a caution either, so
nope.
Should still be going right. No, but it is a caution.
It is a yellow.
That was strange.
We're 121 of 125. I thought that would have been within the 5.
Keith Hughes the one that pulled the caution out, so somebody must have said something. That's going to move Nick Gunther up to the second spot. Chris Aiken's still going to be out there in the lead. Not sure what happened there, though. It was just...
I wonder if anybody pit? I don't think so.
The only people you're going to see pit is going to be... I'd say I could stand corrected. Nelson Rodrigo's down on pit road. I don't think that's a great move, but
Too late, yeah.
no caution, so you know what I mean? Could go out there with 4 tires, and is it a winning move? I don't think so.
See, I
but
saw Merkel getting
probably
loose.
make up some time.
Yeah, I saw Merkel getting loose in one of the camera angles there. I thought he was going to be able to pull it back, but that loosened him up just enough where Mercurio.
I looked over at GNL TV for a quick second, turned around and looked back, and I saw Merkel was around.
Yep. And that got PV, that got Mercurio.
It's going to be a great points night for Nick Gunther, really. You know, currently he is second place in points, 23 points out. That should be really a great night if he can finish where he's at right now, or even go out and take the win. What's going to happen? Looks like it's going to be kind of a green-white checkered situation, I think. Or lights are off on the pace car. Oh, it's going to be a green checker. Going to get the green flag.
Fast tracking it. Curious as to why they brought the yellow out.
I think you're going to see it's going to be a green flag and a one to go flag at the same time.
So the green
not going to be a
white.
Green white checkered. It's going to be a green then checkered.
Yeah, it's going to be a green and white checkered.
Allison Rodrigo is back there.
It's the green flag and the white
spot.
flag are coming up right now.
Allison Rodrigo back there in 14th. Fresh tires. Who knows? It could happen.
Yeah.
Chris Aiken, Nick Gunther, Pablo Vitor. Hart? Where did Hart come from? He must have made it through that incident. He hasn't been around the front, but green flag's out. Oh, bunch of tire. Oh no, tire spin. Pablo Vitor is all around all of this, though. It's a chaotic mess.
Pablo Vitor got the hop. And Gunther's right behind him, but I don't think there's enough time.
Can Gunther do anything with it? Drive that thing in there deep. He's coming, but he's going to run out of time.
There it is.
Pablo Vitor is going to be your winner. Nick Gunther second, and Jack Merkel come out of that from the incident before in third spot. Then after that, it is going to be the 96 of Ulysses. Poppy Sandoval comes out with a fourth out of that. Keith Hughes, Carby Edwards, Josh Mercurio, Sean Dawson, a top 8 finish tonight. Josh 2 in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be RJ Bishop.
Wow. That did not
It was a crazy finish.
How I thought it was going to end. Chris Aiken 1 lap down in 19th position.
Yeah. Crazy. So I was just looking to see what happened to last season's winner there, Jonathan Peavy, back in 8th. That whole situation just kind of got things messed up.
What a wild finish that was. I wonder, I'm curious as to why the yellow came up, but hey, that's something we'll worry about later. That's how the cookie crumbles.
So he's done doing his burnouts. So let's see if we can find Jack Merkel. Give me a minute, because there's a long list of drivers. There you go. Jack Merkel, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you loud clear.
So, a little bit of chaotic there near the end of that race. You kind of got tangled up and around. I don't know if it was a self-spin. I didn't quite see the whole deal there. And then kind of a crazy start at that last restart, and you were able to work your way through and come out third. So tell us a little bit more about your night. What did I miss?
Yeah, that was the first time I got to the point where my tires were that worn pushing that hard, and it stepped out on me. And I maybe could have saved it, but Josh, we were just so close in a tight battle that Josh just really had nowhere to go and ran me over and brought the caution out. And then on that restart, I knew nobody was going, and so I just turned left and dove out of the way and hoped that nobody was going to bounce off the wall down into me and see how far up I could get. If I had, now looking back on it now, if I had maybe shot to the middle above the 92, I maybe could have had a chance to get the 55 in the 99 through 3 and 4, but I had to slow down so much because of that I just had nowhere to go and had to slow up, and it lost all my momentum. I caught them, through 3 and 4, but it just wasn't enough to get there.
Yeah, like the old Dover self-cleaning track. Everything goes up, must come down. So if you make your timing right, you can get by it all before it comes back down on you. So, all in all, let's see. I would see how many laps you led. Wow, you led 38 laps tonight. So, I mean, you were out front there for quite a while.
Was that the most, or who led the most?
That is tied with Jonathan Peavy. So, you tied for the laps led. Josh Mercurio led 24 of them, so that's pretty good. That'll help you out on the points. Looking at the points, I know you've had a couple of hard weeks. You came in tonight 12th in points, 250 back. Obviously, a lot of the guys that are in front of you, Nick Gunther, there's, going to be one of the guys that's going to make up some on you, but you made up quite a bit on them, so you still got, only 8, so you still got over 20 races in the season to get yourself out there, get a few more wins, and get yourself back in the top of that points change.
Yeah, any points that I could gain on the 55 and the 86 this race was going to be good. Definitely didn't come in here thinking I was going to win. I didn't have a lot of laps on the track, didn't have a lot of practice. Kind of got a little confidence throughout the race that I can maybe get something done, especially on the second to last long run we had where me and PV were kind of chasing them down. Thought I had maybe a good shot at it, and then I just screwed it up. I hadn't been in the lead much this season, so I forgot what to do and just spun the car.
Well, the problem is that you're starting in your qualifying position. You needed to be starting in the back. You would have learned more in your way through the pack than staying up front all night, right?
You're probably right. I feel like if I just hadn't spun, I had that pretty good. I hadn't been that deep into a run pushing the car that hard, so I didn't really know what to expect. And it got sideways, and I waited to catch it, and I shouldn't have, and it bit me. But thankfully, I was able to bring it back and get a top 3.
Yeah, so I took it out in practice, my car out in practice a little bit, just because the standard Dover bottom feeding track, you really don't do any passing on the outside. And I noticed that this track kind of sort of had a good, decent upper groove. We've seen a lot of guys tonight, you can run side by side, and stay ahead on that top groove. Although some of them, I think the bottom would eventually probably prevail. How would you explain that? Am I kind of correct? Is the top groove was a pretty good groove for this?
Honestly, it really wasn't that great. Even early in the run, even in late in the run, you would just push so hard out of corner that you would want to be on the bottom anyway. And hugging that bottom is what the fastest way around the track definitely was for sure.
Yep. That's the way Dover always run. Like I said, I didn't do any long runs. I just kind of went out and goofed around a little bit so I could kind of get an idea of, whether it had a top groove or not. But I always loved Dover. Dover's a great track.
Oh yeah, I love Dover. I love coming here. I had the race, had it pretty much locked up last year, and then messed up the tire strategy at the end of the call and ended up 4th, and was hoping I could maybe get it here. And I guess it's just not meant to be for me to win a Dover race. Something always happens late in the race to take me out of contention.
That can be the case here. It doesn't take much, especially with the track. There's just not a lot of room out there, and something happens, you usually can't escape it.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard one to do. It's fun to race. I love racing here, but if something goes wrong, it really, really goes wrong. But I'm glad to be back in the booth talking to y'all after a few weeks of some mishaps.
Yes, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Blaine, do you have any questions?
Yellow came out at lap 121.
Yes, we were coming to take 5 to go, which would have been the point of no return. But because we had wrecked coming to it and hadn't hit it yet, that's why the caution came out.
Oh, I was kind of wondering we might have been right at the border of that.
Yeah, we were coming to
more lap to the point of no return, and then you're 3/4 of the way through that lap, an accident happens, they got to pull out the yellow.
Yeah,
That
for
makes sense.
sure. It's just unfortunate timing. I mean, I'm kind of glad it happened then and not one lap later, or even just a little bit later, to where it was just inside the point of no return. Just glad I was able to rebound and get something. I was just hoping for a top 10 at the end of that, but I'll take a third place for sure.
Absolutely, I think I would too. After Dover's a tough track, so when you can, even if you run up front all night and you did good, and you can get up there and take a third out of it, I agree with you. I'd be happy with that too. Give you the opportunity to thank anybody you would like to for getting you here or whatnot. So the floor is yours.
Just thanks to the Fournette Squad for a good car, and unfortunately, I'm the one who was driving it, so I screwed that up completely. And hopefully we can go back out there next week and be talking to you guys again, and hopefully I can turn the season around and get back into that points title.
That I think you can do. We see you make a lot of charges from the back. Maybe just like I said, you got to request that in the longest line and go back there and just work your way up through. It seemed to work better last year for you. So
Yeah, I might have to just start doing that. It seems like that's a good time to start doing it.
All right. Well, congratulations on third place. And it's been a fun talking with you, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week. So good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
Second place.
Gunther, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy.
Your volume's low, but I got Blaine's.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Hold on, let me turn your volume up a little bit.
Everybody has to do that.
I got him set to like +9 or something.
Anyway, what's up, guys?
We have yet to figure out why that's happened when I redid this computer. And you know what's even weirder is we'll leave here, go to my TeamSpeak, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
It might be a setting on there, but all right.
Yeah. But anyways, you ran around pretty much the top 6 all night. Didn't really get out there, to the out to lead, whatnot. You just was methodical, saving tires, I'm assuming, and lo and behold, at the end of the night, you come out with a second place.
I feel like we could have had a shot to win there, but unfortunately, a couple things didn't happen correctly. So first off, on that last run, I actually had to jump the gun early, and I thought I was catching them, even though I had damage all over my car. So I wasn't going to win on short run pace. No, sir. But I think I was gaining on those guys. I mean, unfortunately, I can't even look back on the replay now. They just closed the server. I think I was gaining on them about 2/10 a lap. I was like, okay, if this goes green, we go to the point of return, which I thought was supposed to be the case, because the caution, I don't know if it came out just
before.
After. It must have just came out just before then. I don't even know. I was really hoping that the caution would not be flown as Jack and Josh wrecked there. I feel like I had a chance to win this race at that point. I was like, I could run down Aiken. There's no problem. But then, oh boy, speaking of him, I was really hoping he wouldn't wheel spin directly into my car. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I had a little bit of wheel spin problems myself at being in second gear, but I think the 99 would have probably got up to us anyway and probably passed us on the inside.
You come into the night second in points, about 23 points behind Josh McCurry. Now, unfortunately, he was still there right in the top 10, I think around 8th. So you gained on him. Whether you gained enough or not to take over the points lead, well, we'll have to wait and see how that works out next week. But really, all in all, great night for you. You've been right there for the most part all season. It's still early. You still got about 24 races to go. You think you can keep having, these good runs and possibly, contend for this championship and, knock the, Mercurio and Jack Merkel out of there?
I can't afford to have a single bad race, because as I mentioned earlier in the previous interview, I'm going to miss 2 races.
Oh, yeah, that's going to suck.
Yeah, I mean, it's both for vacations. I'm am I really missing out?
Well, the thing about it is, you got to figure out, the sim rig can go with you,
Yeah, sure. Let me take my steering wheel, my pedals, my desk, my 2 monitors, just cram it all in a backpack. Sure, let's cram all that.
Rod.
In a school bag. Carry that with me on a plane to Chicago, and then carry it with me to the beach in Wildwood, New Jersey. Yeah, sure. Let's do all of that, and just go racing at the beach and racing out on top of a roller coaster. Yeah.
You got there racing on the beach with your toes in the sand,
You You don't carry all that stuff to Chicago. You carry a Visa card. You just buy new stuff.
Yeah, or you get a laptop. You get a laptop that and then you just bring your steering wheel and you hook it to the.
I have done that before.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I feel like doing it though, which is a shame because I'm gonna miss Daytona. I'm gonna miss Indy. Some of my favorite tracks at this point. I can't even believe I'm saying Daytona is a favorite track of mine. That's a fib.
Well, Daytona and Talladega are not my favorite tracks, but I still try.
Yeah, I feel like we could have won Daytona, but then I got ran over in the middle of the corner.
That's a bump draft gone wrong. Come on now, Nick.
I don't think so. But tonight we had a great run in the Surfside Dodge for Fortnite Squad Racing. Anyway, we're hoping to keep that momentum going for. I believe next race is Charlotte. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule.
It is.
Oh well, lucky guess.
All right, Blaine. Do you have any questions for Nick?
Well, there's a question I got. Like the Daytona thing just reminded me. I believe Ben posted that next season they're going to be using cup physics or truck physics at super speedways. Is that you say that it's your favorite track? Do you have a specific physics pack you'd rather, or just doesn't matter?
The only physics package is CTS physics. Cup physics at super speedways. Like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Like it took Ben like 4 or 5 years to figure that out. How
you're following each other. the truck physics is crazy. It's awesome.
Suck up speed is not as good, and it's harder to if you get kind of let back a little bit. It's harder to make that distance up with these with this cup physics versus the truck physics. They suck up a lot quicker with the trucks. So.
Yeah, I mean that's just it's just CTS physics anyway. You're going to be dealing with a lot of suck ups there. The racing's going to be so much better though. On tracks though, it's going to be so much better.
Yeah,
it's going to be night and day comparison.
All right. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, no, I've seen leagues do the. I know what Ben's doing. It's the Cup Series, right? So you just run the Cup physics
it's a
no matter
hybrid.
what.
Yeah, it's going to be a hybrid thing, which is what it should have been.
You can change it for specific tracks, the super speedways right off the top. And I've seen leagues run different, stuff on road courses. Like, just because the certain road courses just run better with certain physics, GNS physics, Cup physics, whatever you got, right?
Exactly. I miss running GNS physics. I wish leagues could do more of that.
Yeah, you just got to get to the right one, I guess. But all right, buddy. Well, good job finishing second. Moving yourself up there a little bit in the points by beating Josh Mercurio. So, I'll give you a chance to thank anybody that you would like to. The floor is yours.
Okay, so first off, I want to thank my boys back at the Fortnite Squad Racing. Of course, they brought I guess you could say a decently fast 55 Surfside Dodge tonight. I don't think I was the fastest car at all. I honestly had damage too early in a run during a caution cooldown, so I really couldn't grasp on how fast I was until like towards the end of the race, where I was like, yeah, I'm not. I see I'm not pushing or whatever, but no need to worry about that. I want to thank my other partners this season. Of course, I want to go thank Mopar and Dodge. They've been good all years. We haven't had the luck so far. I mean, we had. I want to say back-to-back good races, but I can't because of freaking Mexico. Anyway, we don't talk about that. We're all American here. I want to thank as well, of course, Square D, of course, been a major partner of mine, Publicis Group, SPS, my agency that I work for. I'd like to thank Coca-Cola, being part of the Coca-Cola racing family for a long time here and in our community. And as, of course, Surfside. As always, they are very light, very refreshing alcoholic beverage. They are 100 calories per can with 2 grams of sugar or 3 grams of carbs. Very light, very refreshing. I personally prefer the iced tea pack and the variety pack. They have iced tea. They have peach tea, raspberry tea, and half for iced tea and vodka. It's a very refreshing drink made right here at home in Philadelphia, PA. So I'm glad I was able to put on a home race for them, a good home race there. So we're hoping to go. I don't remember what we have in our paint scheme lineup for the next race. I'm going to take a look. It's probably the Mopar cars. We might see the black and purple Mopar cars next week. It's gonna be fun. I gotta go look at that graph again though.
All right. Well, congratulations on your second place finish, and good luck next week. Hopefully, we'll be chatting with you again.
And of course, one last thing, I gotta congratulate Paulo for his first win in the Maverick Cup Series. Good job, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that it was his first win.
I think that is his first. I'm pretty sure it is, but I think it is his first. So I definitely want to congratulate him. He did a great job. Great job tonight getting through the little carnage there at the very end of the misunfortunate skills from the 19 and myself. Anyway.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we will hopefully see you next week. So good job, bud.
Yeah. See you guys then.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, we're going to try something a little bit different tonight. Pablo Vitor, hopefully you can hear us. He's got his mic muted right now, but Benjamin said that he will help translate Pablo's interview. So
It's Paulo.
Paulo. Sorry, why do I keep saying Pablo?
I don't know.
Paulo. I'm sorry, Paulo. It's just one of those things.
Okay, so if you could give us your interview in Portuguese, Paulo, and then I'll give the translation in English.
I'd have stepped away, sir.
Hello everyone. I try speaking English. My English is bad because this I don't like speaking, but I try. Sorry for my English.
Benjamin said that he would translate.
Okay.
So my question for you is, you ran pretty much most of the night up front. Great move with that last restart to get yourself out front. Tell us a little bit more about your night. There you go, Ben.
So, Paulo, could you give us what you sent me in Discord so you could, and then I can give the translation if needed. So, here is what Paulo asked me to say for him. First of all honor and glory to God. I just try to survive the cooldowns and keep a safe pace to save my tires. I decided to stay out on the last caution because I watched last year's broadcast and saw it was possible to make it on older tires with only a few laps left. I also want to thank the guys from Brazil who raced with me today, Allison, Carlos, Lucas Garcia, Kennedy, Leon, and Udair. We always try to help each other, and this time it finally worked out. It was truly amazing. I think that's all I have to say.
Now, is this his first win, Benjamin?
Yes, this is his first win, and the first win by a driver from outside the United States since September of 2024 at Kansas.
That is very, very cool.
That's awesome.
And Blaine, I was going to say, do you have anything that you'd like to see if Benjamin can get to him?
Oh, I just want to say, awesome race. Like he said, he kind of just said it, like surviving the cool downs and making his way there and just being in the right place at the right time was an awesome run. I love seeing that last minute stuff happen. It's so exciting to be like, oh, wow, okay, here we go. And it was an exciting finish. Yeah, man, great drive.
All right, so I think what he should do is, we're going to give him the chance to thank anybody and everybody that he wants to. He can do that in his native tongue if he would like to. So that's up to you, Paulo. Paulo, the floor is yours if you want to have that opportunity.
Yeah, you don't need to do it in English, dude. We can't speak Spanish at all. So the fact that you can speak both, I always say, don't apologize for broken English. It's, I love it.
All right, well, apparently he's not going to wants to do that. Apparently he had...
I just poked him, and by the way,
There he goes.
There he is.
Thank you for my friends Alisson, Carlos, Kennedy, Lucas Garcia, Hilder, todo mundo, Tenan que tava no chat. I speak Portuguese now.
Very good.
Tenan que falou no chat, valeu aí pela torcida. Valeu aí, pessoal. In English now, congrats for the broadcast. Lives is great, been fantastic job. Thank you and good night.
All right,
Thanks.
congratulations on your win, and that helps you out a bit in the points, so good job with that, and we'll hopefully see you back up here in the booth again soon.
Thank you, Paulo, for the kind words, man. Great race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. The Maverick
I love
Dover
that,
race.
man. I just do it. Don't.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I don't like it when people apologize for their bad English. I'm like, you're literally speaking 2 languages right now, and I can only speak 1. So
Yeah.
just do, like you said, do it in your native tongue. We love it.
Yep.
Habla poco español. I speak a little Spanish, and I don't really speak Portuguese. And we have drivers from all over the world that come in, not just North and South America, of course. Matt Scully from Australia comes out and shows up whenever he can. He was in the field tonight, and we've had European drivers before.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
The amount of guys that you pull, especially for Scully to come out. I mean, they're like 18 hours ahead of us in time. I can't remember the time difference.
I think it's like 15 hours ahead.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a whole half a day.
So it's like midday in Australia, and he shows up and races with us.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, great race. And yeah, we were curious, Ben. We got an answer though about the caution cooldown, but it was right like borderline, like 3/4 of a way to that or not the caution cooldown, the point of no return.
Yes. So the ruling was, and I'm getting a lot of questions about this. The ruling was because the wreck occurred before the leader crossed the start-finish line, the caution was thrown as if the wreck had occurred with 6 laps to go. Right. Even though the leader had already crossed the line to take 5 to go, the caution was thrown because the wreck had occurred before the drivers crossed the start-finish line. If the wreck had occurred just a few moments later, say going into turn 1, then it would have been considered after the point of no return, and the caution would not have been thrown.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's one of those things where it's so close that by the time you have to make that decision split second, and you have to actually reach over and push the button, that time ticks by, and people are wondering why. But yeah, it literally was that close.
Yes, that's what we were trying to do. Is we were trying to rush to push the button before the leader crossed the line, and there just wasn't enough time, and so the ticker had already showed 5 to go when the caution was thrown.
Perfect. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why. On the fly. Can't be easy to do that, especially on a short track too.
It's not necessarily a short track, but a mile track like Dover or Loudon, which we're going to later this year.
Oh, we had a question too about Charlotte. Are you running like an endurance race there, like a 600 style thing, or what's the plan next week?
No, our race next week is going to be 125 laps, which is 300 kilometers, or about 187 miles.
Okay, cool.
The longest race of the year for us is the Fun Coast 500 at Daytona, which is 500 kilometers. All their super speedways are 400, which are the second Daytona and the 2 Talladega races. Right,
okay, cool. There you go. Rod had that question, and it has been answered, Sir Rod.
Very nice.
And also, in case this hasn't been mentioned already, starting in 2027, all super speedway races, those being at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta, will be using CTS physics. Everything else will still use cut physics, and the BR15 mod will remain in use with both physics now starting in 2027.
Oh, Atlanta makes that list now too, because you're running the redone version of that.
Correct. We've been running that since 2023, and so that will use CTS physics.
Cool. Well, there you go. Stay tuned next week. We'll be back here. Well, I can show you the schedule, can't I? Charlotte next week. The week after that, Michigan. The week after that, Pocono. We got Sonoma, Chicagoland, and then headed back to Daytona to start January, March, April, May, June, July. I'm trying to remember what the 7th month was. You'd think I'd know that by now, wouldn't you? Well, you're wrong. I had to use my fingers to see what the 7th month was. Oh, man. I'll be all right. Anyway, there you go. Thanks, everybody, of course, for tuning in this evening. We always get like 100 hits on that. Super cool. Lots of interaction on the YouTube channel. It was a pretty wild race. We weren't leaning on the YouTube chat as much as we usually do. There was a lot going on, but so if we missed anything, we apologize. But hey, we're here every week. We'll be back online on Thursday at Rolling Thunder, and then on Saturday at ASR, and then back here next Tuesday. So as always, thanks to Ben at Maverick for having us in here to do this. Thanks to all these drivers who showed up tonight, like almost 50 guys. We had to have a knockout qualifying. That's super cool. All the viewers live, all the viewers on the replay. Rod Weston, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, as always, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.